Well, you always talk about best and worst bodies, and
Yeah.
you've played with a few of those guys. What about better bodies? Because you talked about Schilling had a bad body, right?
Yeah. Schilling did not look. It was not easy on the eyes in the shower, Dan. We've talked about many times in the show. As far as good bodies, Gabe Kapler was a wonderful body in the shower, who's now the head of the Dodgers minor league farm system. So he was a wonderful man in the shower. Let me go down team to team. How about that? We'll start with the Florida Marlins back in the day. Derek Lee, 6'5", gorgeous man in the shower. First baseman, high ceiling, 21-year-old. We traded for Kevin Brown. I was the Crash Davis that played behind him. We'll move on to the Boston Red Sox. We went with Gabe Kapler. We'll stay there. Baltimore Orioles, tough one here, but I'm going to have to go with Jay Gibbons and Brian Roberts.
Okay.
Both of those young men had the obliques. Jay Gibbons with the big arms. Brian Roberts stopped growing when he was in 5th grade, but good-looking young man in the shower. Toronto Blue Jays. This is a tough one. If I was to say something off the top of my head, Scotty Rowland, a young man out of Bloomington, Indiana. I would say 6'4".
Country strong. Yeah, country strong.
Country strong, ran Tommy Amansky type home run trot around the bases. No showboating whatsoever, but he was very strong and very, very nice quads. He had like the Trevor Hoffman quads in the shower.
Now, these are all the teams you played for, right?
That would be it.
Yeah.
Yes, 4 of them.
Only
I got
4.
released by the Cubs. But if we can go to the Cubs, if you want to go to the Cubs for spring training, I did shower with 6 weeks worth of guys there at the Cubs. And I would have to move Ramos Ramirez. No, Derek Lee was on that team. We'll go with somebody else other than Derek. Let me just take a quick jaunder around. Ryan Dempster's not too shabby for a Canadian kid that took a ferry to play catch back in the day and got drafted second round with the Texas Rangers. So I'll go with Ryan Dempster, who's once again nice quads.
All right. Well, there you go. All right, Kevin. Well, thanks for joining us. That's all we wanted to talk about.
Hey, real quick, Danny, how are you, honest to God, if you and I were teammates and I was doing a radio show about Dan Patrick in the shower, are you average, below average, or above average?
I've been called a 5-tool player.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going on the record saying you're above average then.
Yeah, they call me the Swiss Army knife.
I didn't have a toolbox, so that was me.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.